Welcome back to the Power of the W. Today's guest is someone whose career proves that success doesn't always follow a straight line. Amy Schaefer is joining us. Amy went to school for marketing, but started her YWCA journey as a lifeguard, and today serves as the executive director of our empowerment center, all by the age of 32. In this episode, we're talking about what it's really like to be a young leader, from overcoming imposter syndrome to earning trust, taking risk, and discovering that some of the best opportunities are the ones you never planned for. We'll also take a closer look at the incredible work happening every day at the Empowerment Center, the realities many families face, and why creating spaces where people feel seen, supported, and empowered matters so much. Whether you're just starting your career, navigating a leadership role, or simply looking for a little inspiration, I think you'll find something meaningful in this conversation. Let's jump in. Welcome to the Power of the W podcast, a space where we inspire, educate, and celebrate the incredible strength and resilience of women from all walks of life. In each episode, we'll dive into the stories, experiences, and insights of amazing women who are making their mark in the world. From personal development and career success to health, wellness, and entrepreneurship and beyond, we're here to uplift, empower, and fuel your journey to greatness. So get ready to embrace the power of the W. Amy Schaefer, what's up, girl?
What's up, Jenna?
Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me. Just a disclaimer to people that are watching this, we are not in the same building right now.
I wanted to say that too because so Amy works for the YWCA, and yes, we're not in the same building. We had recorded this episode and there were technical difficulties, so we have to re-record this episode, and this was our only option, was to do it over Zoom.
So we're living the dream.
Yeah, so she's not like in the office right next to me
Mm-mm.
right now.
Across the
She's in
table.
a different building.
All the way
So
across the bridge in Iowa.
yes. Well, yeah, thanks for joining us. You're one of my favorite people here. And for those who do not know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name's Amy Schaefer. I grew up in Moline, so I've been a quad citizen most of my life. I went to Moline High School, went to Iowa State University, came back, and then I've been with the Y since 2016. So
Oh my
10
God.
years.
Yeah, you're like one of the OGs here.
And I'm like the youngest of the OGs, like the baby
Yes.
OG.
Yes, the baby OG. So if someone told 16-year-old Amy that one day you would be leading like one of the largest empowerment centers in our area, what do you think little Amy would say about that?
Honestly, I don't think she'd be too surprised. Like, let's be real. Um, but I think she'd be pretty impressed. I think she'd think it was pretty cool that we're doing some cool things out here for the community.
Yeah. We'll talk about the Empowerment Center later, but what's like one thing that people are always like surprised to learn about you?
One thing I think, in general, like if you've never like seen me in person, like if I like meet you online, is how like my height. I did like this fully online group thing, and we met up like 3 months later at the YWCA USA conference. And I walked in the room, and every person was like, "How are you only like 5'1"?" And I was like, "Just who I am." So
Yeah.
that's always funny from people to realize.
Yeah, because you just have like such a big presence, a big energy that they're probably like, "Oh my gosh, she's so."
Sometimes too much, it's fine.
Okay, so let's kind of talk about your career journey because love I love your example for women, especially like younger people who are maybe like starting out in their careers, because yours was not linear. You
Mm-mm.
know, it's not necessarily the way you thought it was going to go. You went to school for marketing, but
Yeah.
you started your career here at the YWC as a lifeguard. So tell me about that.
Yeah, so when I was like 15, I became a lifeguard and um, went off to college. Would have got a Parks and Rec degree, but Iowa State didn't have one, so I got a marketing degree. Thought it would be like easy, not easy,
Yeah.
but like a degree I could do a lot with. And then came back home. I was working for the city of Moline for a very long time. I basically grew up at Riverside Pool, it felt like. Um, and the after I graduated, I applied for some jobs. Nothing really landed, so I went back to manage the pool one more year. And while I was there, the job posting for the aquatic instructor at the YW opened up. And at that time, it was a lot of like on the deck lifeguarding and just kind of working with a small pool, if anyone remembers the old pool. Um, Not the new aquatic center we have
Yeah.
going, but so yeah, I applied for that position, interviewed with Julie and Jen, and when Julie looked at my resume, she saw I had a marketing degree, and she's like, "Hey, we were looking for a marketing director as well. So like, is there any chance like you'd be willing to like look into doing both, or like working with some of your marketing skills as you're doing this?" And I was like, "Totally." So that happened, and I was doing all of that for a while, and then when we opened the Empowerment Center in 2019, it was kind of made sense that I went with the center just as the marketing person because our development director was kind of the one that led that, and so. Um, when we got over to the new center, it just kind of became apparent that I had passion for the programming we were doing, and so ever since then, it's just been like, 2 feet in on empowerment and services, and it's been really fun. I really like the macro level of it and kind of the planning side, and making sure we can meet the needs of our community. And I love like the surveying side of like making sure like we're asking clients what they need. I think that's the biggest thing for me is like being client led and not like direction led from
Yeah.
our internal direction. So that's the long of it.
I guess, did you ever imagine though that like you would eventually this would lead you into nonprofit work?
I think I always knew I would work for like a city or like a government or something like that. Like I didn't think I'd ever work for like the man. I always say like I could never work for them. I still say that all the time. So I knew I would end up here somewhere. I remember taking a couple of like nonprofit marketing classes in college and being like, oh, like worst case. I wanted to work for the Special Olympics for a really long time. I don't know why that was really like one of those things I grabbed onto. But here we are and it's awesome. I love it here.
Yeah. One of the questions I want to know is like you went to school for marketing, you were doing marketing and lifeguarding here, and then Julie's like, "Hey, I want you to go to the Empowerment Center," which is, you're doing marketing, but it's a lot of like social work. Like, were you hesitant? Were you like, "I don't really know if I can do that?" Because if she told me she wanted me to do that, I'd be like, "Wait, Julie, no." Like, you got the wrong person. Like, so like was there any hesitation or like nervousness about that?
I don't think so. It was kind of like boiling the frog. Like it was like slow at first, and then I just found myself like especially over the last like year or so, just like making these really big choices like a lot of the time. But this, like Julie trusts us and like
Yeah.
I always like especially like in my time at the Y, like Julie's encouragement has like led me to just like say yes to things and like watching her lead. Like literally I learned how to like she'll just cold call. Like we had a question about the summer jobs program and she like just like, "Oh, I'll call this person to ask if they'll work with us." And she called them and she asked and they said yes. And it's like learning from people like that where it's just like just
Mhm.
make the ask, just do the thing and like clean up the mess later. And very rarely is there actually a mess. Like, doing things like with good intention, it's very rare that you're gonna find yourself in a situation that's not good for a good
Yeah.
outcome at least.
Yeah. And Julie kind of sounds like she's one of your mentors.
Hmm.
And I love how empowering she is. Um, y- you feel I feel like you're pretty open to things. Like you're pretty like always like on board. Like have you always been like that?
Yeah, I feel like I have. I don't know. Like I said, just like I've always kind of been a like act, not maybe not act first, cleanse mess later, because that's not always true. Like I feel like I try to think things through pretty
Mm.
aggressively, but I've learned like if I can find like four good reasons to do something, like then we're probably gonna do it. Like as long as it's not outweighed. So
Yeah.
just like and reaching out to people, like checking yourself is important. Like like Nicole on our team, like when I've got questions, her and Paul are like people I call on, like, hey, and 9 times out of 10, it's just like reassurance, like, hey, I am actually thinking this through right. And
Yeah.
they're usually like, yep, you're good. Um, but I think like it's very important to just, be open to
Mhm.
doing things better because like if I wouldn't have been open to making the changes we made here, like we wouldn't be helping the people we're helping. And like just seeing that alone is like just it allows you to know that that's, the right thing to do.
Yeah. What's that saying? Like the higher the risk, the bigger reward. Do
Mm.
you think um taking this empowerment center like job that ended up paying off for you? Would you say
Y-
that?
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
do think so. I love it. I mean, we always laugh around here. It's like, wow, what a big problem to have that we've got too much food to put out. Like when we get big deliveries, it's like
Yeah.
these are the things that we're stressed out about are like just, I mean, minuscule because the other parts of the job are really heavy. So
Mhm.
when it's like, oh my gosh, we just got, 600 yogurts and we got to find fridge space for them, like if that's my biggest problem, like
Right.
life's a breeze.
Yeah. So congratulations because you were one of the people in the Quad Cities named 40 under 40 by the Quad City Business Journal. And so pretty much people are nominated and chosen as 40 leaders in the Quad Cities under 40. So congratulations. That's
Thank you.
exciting. Um, how'd you feel when you like got that email or call about that?
It was kind of surreal. I feel like, especially I've had friends be nominated and honored there, and they feel like much, bigger leaders than I am. I mean, like I think about like Ashley Velez and like just those people that are at that really high level. I don't necessarily put myself on the same playing field as them. But it's just really neat and it's cool to be recognized. Mainly to bring light to what we're doing over here and just to bring more eyes to the Empowerment Center.
Yeah. One of the cool things I thought was cool about the YWCA when I started was like the young leadership we have here. I'm not
Hmm.
used to that. I'm used to um people that are in leadership status being older. So like, you had Edwin that does the place to be and he's like what, 30,
Yeah.
31,
He's
whatever.
younger than me.
Yeah, and then there's you and like, you're leading a major community resource center at 32. And I just think that's amazing. And like I guess do you ever struggle with imposter syndrome?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to generalize, but I feel like almost everyone does to an extent.
Yeah.
I feel like if I didn't, I would. I don't know. I don't know if I would trust myself. If people say they don't, it's a good for you. But um, yeah, I mean, early on in my career, especially like going into an organization of this size, like your title says director right away, right? So, I'd go to these meetings, these conferences, and people would call me kiddo and like hun. I get hunned
Mhm.
a lot. You
Mhm.
get it.
Mhm.
And so it's interesting, especially with like I don't know, like titles kind of carry weight, and with the title that I carry, it's like. I don't know. I feel like sometimes you have to kind of prove it, but you don't. Like you just have to
Mhm.
like do what you're doing with integrity and like you're where you need to be for a reason. So like, whenever I like struggle with that and need to like check myself, it's just like I just take a deep breath and like think about like, okay, these are the things I've done and these are the people that trust me to do what I'm doing. And, with that, like I just have to keep going and not dwell on it too long and it'll come back, but you just
Yeah.
tell it no.
That was actually my next question is like, how do you earn trust and credibility while working with other people who have like more years of experience?
Yeah, I think just like being really open-minded to people's advice really is helpful. Like when you're working with what I'm working with, especially like leaders who have done this for a really long time, like obviously they know, better than me in certain circumstances. And so like when I've got questions, I try to ask before I like put my opinion out there. And I feel like I know our clients pretty well and I know what they want. But I also like sometimes like systematically like what works and what doesn't is
Hmm.
important. So we've been able to prove that, doing a full choice model food pantry is okay and is doable and is like
Hmm.
sustainable. Um, and I think there's a little bit of like I've dealt with internally some pushback on that and as well as like externally and um so just knowing that like I know what I'm talking about, but also like taking into consideration other people's thoughts and opinions so I can kind of mesh them together and make the best choices.
What about like because you did talk about how sometimes where you've been at meetings or something and like I've been at meetings and other things where I'm the youngest person in the room and there's people that don't take me seriously or don't really listen to what I have to say because I am young and they just are like she doesn't have the experience, she doesn't know. Um so like how do you do that in those situations? Is it just like you're just gonna prove yourself?
Yeah, I try to just take it in stride and like just turn around and do the best I can with what I've got. So sometimes it is just like listening and saying, okay, if that's like what you think about this situation, then that's
Hmm.
how it is. And I'm gonna go ahead and do what we need to do for our clients and,
Yeah.
take input as needed and as necessary. But I think that like a lot of things speak for people and not just the way they outwardly speak. It's, the
Hmm.
results of their programming and things like that. So yeah, we've been, it's just kind of something I've taken stride and know that, someone's opinion of you is not a reflection of always like who you are as a person.
Right. And I know you're real big on like if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna, I'm gonna do it. Like, if I tell you I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it. And I think that also shows to people like, oh, she said she was gonna do this and she actually did do it, like, so I
Yeah,
think that,
integrity goes a long way, I feel like.
yeah, yeah, yeah. What has been the biggest leadership lesson you've learned so far?
Oh man, I think just like leading as I like to be led in a way. Like obviously everyone's like style is different and like their preferences as employees and people are different. But I always like when I'm faced with a tough situation or a situation where I need to be a harder working leader, I always think about how I would like it to be addressed to me if it were me. And that really helps me shape and put, a personal touch on everything. Um, at the end of the day, we're all people and people deserve respect and dignity, whether they're, a client or a coworker or anyone that's a volunteer, things like that. So, just really trying to put that lens on everything that I do. Keeps me from, I don't know, sometimes you can have that moment where you're seeing red and you're hot and you're like, oh God, I don't want to say anything I would regret. So,
Hmm.
stepping back and thinking how it would feel to feel that personally, but also with the good things too. Like I think about like when my staff or volunteers like comes up with a great idea or like, wants to do a change and it's like super cool and I love it, like trying to find ways to highlight that as well so that, we're positive reinforcement and
Yeah,
things
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, it's, you don't always want to hear the bad things. You want to hear that you're doing good things
Exactly.
too. So,
Exactly.
what advantages do you think younger leaders bring to organizations?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of us are very much like done with like this is the way we've always done it. And I know like especially with like the Empowerment Center, we don't directly do like housing and things like that. But right now, like the homeless population, the unhoused population, like there are big things happening in that field where because of young leaders, like things are being shaken up because like they're stopping and thinking like, yeah, this is how we always did it and it's never worked. So that's kind of the lens I'm putting on what we're doing here as well as like what's worked in the past or what other places are things working well at, but then what's not working and like what can we do to kind of mitigate those like old thoughts and like the way that
Yeah.
people, we always did it this way and
Right.
it's
Yeah. No, bringing just like a fresh new perspective or lens to it,
Mhm.
because when you are somewhere for so long doing it, sometimes, you become blind to things or you don't think about other things because that's just how you've been doing it. So I think a good perspective is something that they bring to it.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the Empowerment Center. Um, Man, I guess let's start off with like just what is the Empowerment Center for someone who's never been?
Yeah, so the Empowerment Center is located in Davenport. We have on site a clothing closet, a food pantry, personal hygiene. We have diapers and wipes. We have laundry, and then we have shower services. So anyone in the Quad Cities, or just anyone really in general, could come access any of those services. The only thing we really ask for appointments for is the laundry, just so we have, a clear set schedule of who's going to be in the building for that. But other than that, I mean, it's all walk-in, it's all choice-based. So our food pantry is set up as close to a grocery store as we could. You get carts, there's bags. We have working with Lyft concierge, so we're doing rides to the center. We actually just piloted a delivery service, so that's kind of new and kind of on the underground. This is kind of letting the cat out of the bag.
Mhm.
Very limited at this time, but working to just get food to those who really can't access the center for whatever way. Um, but really just trying to create the lowest barrier way for people to get access to immediate need services.
Yeah, I mean, you should be so proud because like within the last year, the growth alone is it's bananas. Like, and you talked about some of those changes, like the Lyft concierge.
Hmm.
We changed up from being to a choice model.
Hmm.
We are now a diaper bank. We're one of two diaper banks in the Quad Cities. We have a partnership with Vitamin Angels, so we get prenatal vitamins,
Hmm.
um, and like what we used to serve in a month, we're now serving in a week. So like just talk about numbers for me. Like how many people you guys are like serving on a regular basis.
I love my numbers. I just wrapped July numbers, so we saw just over 1,100 visits in July. And it's funny, like in the fall of last year, we were talking about like what do we anticipate seeing? Like what do we want to do over the month? And it was like 170 families a month. And then like we were looking at that, and it was like, oh, we could do 170 families a week. And now I'm seeing like 260 families a week. I mean, the last month it was like over 4,000 individuals that were served by our services. Even with duplication, like that's just massive. With like it was like 600 and something unduplicated households access our services.
Yeah.
So one thing that we really push is that we are like you can access it weekly, so that families know, if you need us every week, that's great. If you need us bi-weekly, if you need us once a month, just being consistent in
Mhm.
lives' lives. And then Jenna, here's the July number for diapers.
Oh
We were
gosh.
50,000 diapers in
Oh
July.
my gosh.
That's
And so
10,000 more,
June we gave out
40,000.
40,000. So
Yeah.
50,000 diapers.
Yeah.
Is that like what are the items that or services I guess people utilize most at the Empowerment Center?
Yeah, I would say our most used is a tie between diapers and food.
Hmm.
Our laundry is our most requested service, but just the most limited based upon space and
Yeah.
availability. But the cool part about the laundry appointments is when you're here for, 4 hours to do your laundry, you can access all the other services. And
Mhm.
then any other agencies we're able to bring in. So I actually just got an email from WIC, so they're going to come on August 17th to be here. So it's just really important to me to partner with other agencies and kind of provide as much as we can when clients are in the space.
Yeah, well, and to go back to what you said, I just love how it's a one-stop shop.
Mhm.
So while they're doing laundry, if you need to go to the clothing closet, you can, or you can hit up these other organizations that are giving out resources, or you can go get food. It's just, yeah, they're not going to multiple places to get all these things. It's
Yeah.
just in one spot. So, can you share a story that reminds you why this work is so important to you?
Yeah.
I'm sure you
Okay.
have a lot,
I
but
went from literally today. Do you want today's news stories?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we have a client we've been working with for quite some time. He's been unhoused and he recently secured housing. He just moved in last week. And he was in our lobby discussing with some of the final needs for the housing situation. And he said he needed a microwave. And so he's just chit-chatting with the front desk staff. I actually had a friend that was getting rid of a microwave, so I was about to text her. And this woman walks in and she's like, "Hey, I have some donations for the center. Can I bring them in?" And she's like, "Will you take a microwave?" And his like head just went, and we're like, "Yep, we'll take a microwave. Like, we'll take that right now." So, I think it's always cool. Things like always seem to work out here. And it's really really neat to watch that fall into place. But yeah, it's a cool place, and we're able to meet a lot of needs.
Yeah. What's something people don't realize about the challenges families face every day?
A lot of our families are working. So, like, so many of our families that we serve are people that are going to work every day, taking their kids to work, and are just unable to make ends meet for whatever reason, whether it's medical bills over their head, whether it's childcare costs, whether it's issues with like their benefits. I mean, right now, like SNAP benefits, there's all kinds of new issues and new things with that. So, I think the thing to remember is that like the people that we're serving are not, these people that aren't providing to society or anything like that. I get that like that's kind of
Yeah.
a thing
The
people think of,
misconceptions we all hear.
yeah, like those food
Yeah.
banks and things like that. It's like no, I
Hmm.
mean, it's people that just really need a hand up or a little bit of help in these crappy situations that they're in. And so,
Yeah.
to be able to provide that consistently is really helpful, and
Yeah.
to have people refer their friends when they know they're in need. It's always a nice call.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, so and
And
so sent me.
right. And like how many stories you have of people who have used the empowerment services and then they're able to get out of the hole that they're in and then they come
Mhm.
back and they donate to the empowerment center or they help out like they pay it forward, you
Oh, all
know?
the time.
Yeah, that's great. Um, what accomplishment are you most proud of so far?
Oh man. I don't know. I think again, it's just the way that services have grown this last year has been really neat. And I really like in the beginning, I say, jump with 2 feet and all that, but like I was a little nervous because I was just like, can't, what if we can't keep up? Like, what if we're not actually providing what our clients need? And they come back and we can't. My fear was, are we gonna have enough peanut butter to go
Yeah.
around?
Yeah.
And so, I think just seeing how that grew and embracing the fact that there are people that need help. It's not like me not serving as many people does not mean that the people don't need things. And I think that was the thing I came around on is like, okay, if we're gonna get to people that need things, I want to get to every single one of them.
Mhm. Yeah. Let's talk about leadership. What does being a good leader mean to you?
Oh, leading, like with integrity, definitely. I think thinking about others and not just yourself. And I always like the whole like, leader that will um, do whatever. There's nothing that's like below a good leader. I
Mhm.
always think about like the first time I went to the Y on the weekend to check the pool and Julie was out there mulching. I'm like, okay, like, that kind of just instilled in me like the fact that like none of us are above anything. So around here it's, we get our food on Wednesdays, so we're all sorting and organizing food on Wednesdays and just making sure that, we're all checked into the process, I think is important.
Yeah, you mentioned it, but like the work you do is heavy. You guys deal with people who are in, one of the worst parts of their life. They're dealing with a lot. You guys hear it every day. So like, how do you handle difficult days when it just feels emotionally heavy, or how do you prevent burnout?
Yeah, I think like being mindful of those situations and finding ways to unwind, whether it's, for me like going for a run or going to work out, things like that. It also helps me work through those things too, kind of can think through some answers that kind of helps. And then just, being sure to take breaks and make sure there's vacations on the calendar.
Yeah.
And then we try to take at least like a half day every month here and like debrief, get the whole team together, and then make sure we're on the same page for clients too. I think that sometimes we have so many people we serve, and the staff here is growing, so just making sure like, hey, we know what's going on with each client. Um, but truly, just like reminding ourselves like we really are doing the best we can with what we've got, and like that in and of itself is super helpful to people.
Yeah. So the YWCA's mission is eliminating racism, empowering women. What does empowering women look like in your everyday work?
I mean, we see, I would say about 80% female-headed households here. So the majority of our clients are women, moms, people who are just, like leading the charge of their own lives. And so providing the diapers, I think, is a really big thing. We, like I said, give out a ton of diapers, and that gives people the ability to go to work, to get their kids to childcare, to get their kids to school.
Mhm.
We serve, even older children that are, have some mental and physical disabilities and can't be potty trained. So we've got a whole handful of those kiddos. They're some of our
Yeah.
best friends in here. But really just making sure that women have what they need to go about their life and not have to stress about the basic needs like food, like hygiene
Yeah.
items, like diapers, things like that.
Yeah. What's one piece of advice you'd give to a young woman who's just beginning her career?
Um, don't overthink it.
Mm.
If it approaches you and it doesn't feel like wrong, then go for it. There are always things you should say no to, and there's situations where you should be weary of things. I mean, we've dealt with some situations over here where I'm like, "Ooh, this isn't quite right," and but really just go with it and go with the flow, and hopefully, it'll all work out.
Yeah, and just like back to like being open, I hear from people all the time, they'll go to school for like one field and then they don't end up in that field and they're like, oh, that was such a waste of my degree, but it's like, no, it's not. It's not,
No. Yeah.
So, okay, looking ahead, what excites you most about the future of the Empowerment Center?
Oh man. Just being able to continue to expand services. We just started a new client survey, so I want to hear what, our clients have to say about what they need. We've got some really great partnerships happening right now, to work with other agencies and make sure, like, if we do what we're doing really well, then they're not spending resources on adding on these services like diapers and hygiene items and things like that. So, just continuing to kind of bolster what we do here, and maybe expand upon some of the new things like delivery.
If resources were unlimited and Julie was like, what's one program or service you'd love to add, Amy? What would you say?
Um, d Bigger deliveries like mobile center. I think right now, like something mobile. I want mobile showers really bad. That'd be
Mhm.
huge. Take that somewhere. Pair it with like, oh, I did say I wanted like a food truck that serves free meals, but
Mhm.
also has like a trailer that's an empowerment center.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun one. I'd have to get
Yeah.
like my CDL for that, but
Yeah.
but
I mean,
I don't
just
know.
add it to your list of
Yeah,
things. I
put it
mean,
on the list.
lifeguard, CDL driver, marketer, it's just,
Somebody give me a forklift.
yeah.
But yeah, I think just more like community, like into the community-based services.
Mhm.
We are, we're able to get clients here, but we have lots of clients that are homebound for whatever reason or are short-term homebound because of surgeries or things like that. So just ways to get more things in the hands of people that need them.
Yeah. So I want to do a Power of the W lightning round with you. I did this with another guest and I thought it was fun. So Um, okay, coffee or energy drink?
Both
I was
at the
gonna
same
say,
time.
I've seen you drink both. How much caffeine do you consume in a day, do you think?
Oh, too much.
Too much.
Like a pot of coffee and whatever else I grab that day.
I'm still waiting for our sponsorship for Alani, you know?
I know they've got to come for us.
I know.
Like, we'll make
Early,
commercial.
I know the answer to this one, but early bird or night owl?
Early bird all day.
Mhm. Um, Best career advice you've ever received?
Yeah, like stay open, go with the flow, that kind of stuff.
One word your team would use to describe you.
Gosh, I don't know. Excited?
What's currently on your playlist?
It's rainy out, so it was a Mac Miller day today. But it really just I am so all over the place with music, but I love it.
Yeah. A book or podcast that's influenced you besides Power of the W, like I know that's like your top podcast, but other than that, like is there a book or podcast that's influenced you?
I yeah, gosh, I listen to all kinds of different podcasts. I listen to actually I'm gonna plug one that I listened to today, The Daily, which is a New York Times daily podcast, did one about the changes in SNAP benefits and how they affect people, like individuals, and it is so spot on to what we're like it's not quite as dire here, but Arizona is really dire. So
Mm,
if you're listening to this, go take 30 minutes and listen to that because it's telling the stories that like we hear too.
mm. If you were in nonprofit work, what career would you have pursued, do you think?
Lifeguard forever. Forever,
What
forever.
what about lifeguarding do you love so much?
Being tan.
Okay, but like at the Y, you're inside, so like what else do you enjoy besides that?
The people, I don't
The
know. I feel
people.
like pools are a very special place. We always joke, like Donna and I will joke, like the
Mm.
fountain of youth. Like the people that are in our pool are wealths of information.
Oh,
Because
that
they're
is so true.
yeah. So I
You
loved
know,
when I was back in the pool, like listening to stories and getting to know our members. And I
yeah.
don't know. It's just a really cool. It's like almost like I could write a memoir just about
Yeah,
these guys.
that is so true. I was talking to Julie, one of our lifeguards, and she knows something about everyone, you
Hmm.
know, like they
I should do
just,
that. Put that on
yeah.
my list.
Um,
Memoirs of a lifeguard.
okay, before we wrap up, obviously the name of our podcast is Power of the W. What does the Power of the W mean to you? And what do you hope women listening today take away from your journey?
I think that like the kind of the title and the grip of this is like, it's never too late. It's never the wrong time to try something new and follow like where you feel like you should be going. I think that the fact that I'm here is not by accident, and it's all the pieces of all of the things that have happened in my life have put me here. And it's like every no that you get in life is not like a forever no. It's a just not right now. I mean, the reason I'm here is because I didn't get a job that I swore I should have gotten. So
Mm.
and I think I'm so much happier here than I
Mm.
would have been in the
Yeah,
position that I had applied for. So I think to me, just the power of the W is, the way that women support each other, and there's just I don't know, like girlhood, you
yeah.
know.
And
But
the power behind that, you know?
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, there's just an immediate like connection and understanding, and we all get it. And even like working here, I talk to a lot of people, and I talk to a lot of moms, and a lot of them like will kind of like, oh, well, I don't have kids, but like I feel like I do have at least a decent grip on what it's like to feel like you need to support people, and yeah, so that's my thoughts on that.
All right. Well, Amy, thank you so much for taking time. I know you're always so busy over there, so thank you for being a guest on our show.
Thanks, Jonah. Thanks for having me, and thanks for being on our team at the Y because
Yeah.
it's been a fun couple. It's been 2 years, right? 2 years this
Almost
year.
2 years. Yeah.
I have
Yeah,
to
I
throw you
know.
a party.
I know. And that's funny though, because like I had applied for a job that I didn't get, and I was like heartbroken. But if I had gotten that, I wouldn't be here. And you
My
know,
life wouldn't be the
yeah,
same, dude. Where would I get
right.
my high twos?
I know, right? All right. Thank you, Amy.
Thanks, Jenna.
Bye. Thanks for listening to the Power of the W podcast. If you like what you heard, don't forget to hit subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with a friend. For more updates, follow us on social media or visit our website at www.ywcaqc.org. We'll catch you next time right here on the Power of the W.